Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing another comparison video for you guys. As you can tell, we're going to be looking at Metal Knight versus Golden Frieza. Ever since the Dragon Ball Z update, since Frieza and Vegeta were released, this has been a constant debate within the community. Metal Knight is one of, if not the best hill unit in the game, or he was at the time. And then Frieza, when Frieza came out, he kind of started fighting him for that spot. So today I wanted to do like a more in-depth look at them and show you guys what unit might be better and what unit would be good in what situations. So let's go ahead and get into it. As you could tell, let me pull that up real quick again for you. The Meta Knight's stat potentials are a little bit lower. However, he does have Divine, so his SPA will be increased by 10%, his range is increased by 20%, as well as his damage. My damage is also increased by 20% because of Celestial, but these guys are on very similar playing fields here. I think the difference here is about a 10% damage difference. Let's take a look real quick. Metal Knight and Frieza. Yeah, so the differences are not super high, so this will be pretty fair. I will be taking their damage from the wiki again. Their SPA is probably very similar. If anything, Metal Knights is more because of the Divine. But regardless, let's get into it. Okay, we have amassed some money here, and let's go ahead and start looking at the comparison. So, starting off with Frieza and Metal Knight. Metal Knight has a really huge range. I know he has a bit higher range due to the Divine, and I was looking online, and him and Frieza do have very similar ranges at level 1. It looks like he has a multi-hit on his rocket, and that is absolute. Maybe not yet, actually. I don't think he has it yet. It might just look like a multi-hit, but I don't think it actually is a multi-hit. As you can tell, he does have these little drones. I believe they have, what is that? That looks like 20% of his damage? Hang on. Let's do the math real quick. So 1652 over 6608. 16 over 2 divided by 6608. 25%. That's huge. I believe he gets it every 50 kills, as you can see on his back here. That's super useful. Frieza also looking pretty strong early, very strong base damages. When you place them down, you'll be able to destroy any early air waves for sure. And yeah, both have a very strong early game. If I'm being honest with you guys, I've never really used the Metal Knight before. So this will be my first time actually really seeing how his upgrades look and going further with that. Alright, so let's get to their next move. Laser upgrade. Alright, let's go see what this looks like. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, and that looks like it was a multi-hit as well. Okay, so we have a multi-hit on Metal Knight starting at upgrade 4, which is super early. And, oh, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. I really like that. Alright, let's get Frieza up here to his death saucers. His range, not too hot compared to the Metal Knight's range. And I'm looking at the wiki right now, and it looks like that's not super different. Like wiki, Frieza at upgrade 3 is 24, this is 27, so it would be even smaller. And then wiki SPA would be 9, and this one's 7.7, so. Alright, so looking at this, it looks like Metal Knight wins here in this second stage as well. He is attacking quite speedily. His SPA is quite lower compared to his wiki, which is 8.5, but I do think Metal Knight is very strong even at this stage. So far, he has shown very good power at both stages already. Frieza's not even getting a chance to hit the enemy. However, as you do know, Frieza does have 3 placements, while Metal Knight only has 2. Like that. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to their next ability here. I'll do Metal Knight first. Drone lasers. So I'm guessing that means his little summon also has lasers now, which is insane. Look how strong that thing is already. That's at 10k. You don't even have to, that costs no money. That costs no money to get these guys out. And the faster your Metal Knight attacks, the faster they'll get out there. Super good. I do believe they only hit 1 unit though, so that is something to look out for. Alright, let's get Frieza up here. So Supernova. Frieza's damage basically doubles here, but the SPA also gets extremely high. Comparatively, Supernova on the wiki ends up having 15 SPA, while mine has 12.8 thanks to the SPA that my Frieza has. So let's go ahead and get there. It's very big AoE, which is really good, and the base damage is just massive. Oh, and it looks super cool. So Frieza is doing... Oh, and the range also gets super big too. So Metal Knight is going to be better at breaking those shields on air units, which is super useful. Whereas once those shields are broken, Frieza is going to be doing a lot of damage to them. Frieza does just massive damage with this AoE. Super cool. Let's go ahead and get... Oh, rocket upgrade. All right. Okay, so it looks like he is shooting a laser and shooting rockets out. That means he is hitting them 4 times. So Metal Knight is breaking these shields and doing quite a bit of damage, and also summoning little drones. That is a lot to offer. This unit has a lot to offer. Wow. Makes me kind of wish I had a Metal Knight. If I ever need to have air, I always bring my Frieza along, but Metal Knight is very, very good looking here. And I believe Frieza actually just... There's no more upgrades for Frieza here, like ability upgrades. So let's go ahead and get Frieza up to... Or let's get Metal Knight up to max. Okay, wow. Metal Knight has 13 upgrades. But I did look at the wiki, and the prices are about the same, where Metal Knight takes about 118,000 yen to max, whereas Frieza costs 119,000. Because as you can tell here, those upgrades are huge. So, according to the wiki, Metal Knight over here has about 18,585 DPS at this level. This one definitely has more due to the divine upgrade, which is huge. Let's calculate this one real quick. So that's 154,000 divided by 5.4. So this Metal Knight's doing a lot more damage thanks to its divine upgrade. That is about 10,000 more damage per second here, because the SPA is quite lower, and he has 30,000 more damage. But a base Metal Knight, if we're not looking at any upgrades, 18,585 DPS. And then if we're including his drones, assuming, so I think they last about a minute, and you'll definitely be killing 50 units within the minute. So we'll say, for the sake of just for the sake of argument, we're gonna say that he's gonna have usually 2 drones out at all times. Okay, if that's not the case, please correct me in the comments, but I think it's safe to say that he'll have about 2 drones out most of the time. So let's remember this number, 18,585, and so if, based on the wiki, a Metal Knight will have about 120,803 damage. We'll divide that by 4. So a drone will have about 30,000 damage, and I'm not sure if the SPA is affected by it. I don't think it is. That's 7,500 damage per second. It's a lot of damage, but it's only single target. However, we're going to multiply that by 2, right? So that'll be 15,000 damage per second, on top of being able to have 2 Metal Knights out. So we're going to multiply that by 2 yet again. So in total, the drones will be providing about 30,000 damage per second, on top of Metal Knight's 18,585. So we're going to multiply that by 2, and we're going to get plus 37,000. Metal Knight is dealing about 67,000 damage per second when you have both units out and 2 drones out for both of them. That is insane for a non-unique unit to be dealing that much, and you can only imagine how much damage he's doing in unique. I know whenever I'm in a lobby and there's a unique Metal Knight in that lobby, that thing is doing the most damage consistently. Every time. Such a strong unit. I think Metal Knight is absolutely worth the title of like top hill, but let's go ahead and look at Frieza here. So a Frieza without these, with like a base normal Frieza will have about 300,000 DPS on one singular unit, right? And they have about an SPA of 14. So let's go ahead and divide that by 14. That's 21,000 DPS. But we can place 3 of them. Okay, that's 64,000 DPS. So, all in all, if we're looking at just the unit, like if we're not looking at the drones that Metal Knight provides, then Frieza is doing more damage per second. However, if we're looking at the drones, looking at the group DPS that the drones would provide, Metal Knight is doing a lot more. Let's look as if there's only 1 drone at a time. So that would be minus about 15,100. If we're thinking that he only has 1 drone out at a time, because it looks like this one only has 1 out right now, and it's not really changing too much, that might be a better representation. So he is doing a little bit less than Frieza, but his damage potential is a lot higher. His DPS potential is way higher than Frieza's because of the drones. He's multi-hitting them. He's attacking them faster than Frieza. He is just an extremely good unit. Now, that doesn't mean Frieza is a bad unit, right? Frieza is also super good when you're looking at like bosses or like a giant wave of enemies that you need to kill. Frieza will destroy that wave. Frieza will chunk the boss. Metal Knight's more of a sustained DPS kind of guy. Unless you get unique on him, then he's just the unit to have. Whereas Frieza is more of a burst. So both are good in their own rights. I feel like in the long run, it might be better to bring Metal Knight in infinites. So I would think Metal Knight's better in infinites, whereas Frieza is better in, you know, shorter content where you're like farming portals. You only want to get to like wave 50 in an infinite rather than going for a leaderboard run. I think Metal Knight would provide way more in a leaderboard run because of just his constant damage that he'll be pumping out. Whereas Frieza will be hitting them once and then maybe they're gonna jump out of his range. You know, if Frieza's not killing them with the supernova, chances are Frieza is not gonna be killing them, period. Whereas Metal Knight will definitely get them by the time that they're out of his range or get them super low in the process. So I think both are great units, but if you want to roll for a unit and you want this unit to last you a while, I think I'm going to have to recommend Metal Knight here. Metal Knight is absolutely insane. Now, don't get me wrong. Frieza is really good in his own right, like I said, in like shorter content. But maxing out 3 Friezas is going to cost you 300,000 yen. And even in shorter content, you're probably not going to get 300,000 yen. So you're probably not going to be able to max out all 3. But you will be able to max out 1 or 2. And if you want to like speed run that stuff, you know, kill the enemies really quickly and everything, then Frieza's your guy. However, if you want longevity and you want to like, you know, do well in the long run and like long sustained periods of time, I think Metal Knight's your guy. So I think Metal Knight can also do well in short situations too. So yeah, I think my vote here is gonna go to Metal Knight. If you guys don't agree with me, please let me know in the comments. I'm always open up to discussion. But yeah, so I'm gonna say the winner here, the better unit, is Metal Knight from the One Punch Man update. Super strong, super great, and you know, multi-hit's never something to laugh about. But yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I've recently hit 600 subscribers, and that's insane. You guys are helping make my dream come true. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell. Thank you guys. Bye.